shit. Of course, it's got to be really good stuff too, isn't it? Ah, damn it. All right. Hey guys, Seafar here, and welcome back to some ARK Survival Evolved. Now, in the last episode, we started here on the island, and we ended up doing the Explorer Note run, which honestly got me a few more levels than I expected, which, speaking of which, we just got a level now, so we are sitting at level 39, and we're going to go ahead and put that into weight there. But today, guys, obviously you see behind me, we did start working on the base, we did get a roof on it. I've actually taken the roof off because we're going to do a little bit of TLC on the inside of the base. I want to go ahead, I want to put a refining forge, a smithy in the middle. I want to put a bed. I also want to put a little bit of storage over here. I want to put maybe a bookshelf over here. I want to put a table here, and I also want to put some mortar and pestles on top just to make this place a little bit furnished and everything for us. But we also got our heavy hitter in the last episode, and that, of course, is Tyson. Yeah, I ended up naming this thing Tyson. I'm going to tell you guys why. Now, first of all, thank you guys so much for throwing your suggestions in the comments. I do apologize that I didn't pick any of those suggestions, but this kind of came to me, and I was like, yeah, we have to do it 100%. Now, like I mentioned, there's a couple of reasons why I went with this name. It works on a couple different levels, and let's talk about that. So, if you guys live in America, you know that Tyson is a chicken company, and let's be honest, the dodo and the chicken, pretty damn similar. But on top of that, this freaking dodo took a beating in the last episode, and of course, gotta name it after Big Mike Tyson, right? So we got ourselves Tyson here, and I really do like the name, honestly, of it. So Tyson is our first tame of the series, which is absolutely cool. Eventually, we'll get him back in the house here and everything, but for now, let's work on a little bit of base TLC. Now, like I mentioned, I did want to make a few things, which we do have a decent amount of resources already from the last episode, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just start making a few things. So the bed is what we wanted to do first. Unfortunately, we can't do the mortar and pestle, which is okay. Let's see what else I can make. I love how I said I can make all this stuff, and I probably can't. Okay, we'll make a large storage box. And that'll be it for right now. Now, what else do I want to make here? Obviously, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get ourselves at least 2 forges. We're going to have to go get metal for the smithy. I also want to make the table, which means we're going to need a little more metal there, too. By the end of this episode, I do want to make a raft, and I do want to make the canoe, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, do we also have a wooden ladder already? We do. Perfect. Okay, so let's go out. Let's get a few more resources just so we can go ahead, get ourselves the second storage box. Let's also open up the bookshelf here if we can. I already had the bookshelf unlocked. Cool. Okay, I just didn't personally... Oops. I also didn't personally see it, I guess, maybe. But... yeah, we're going to need wood overall. So let's go ahead. Let's get a little bit of wood. Let's get a little bit of stone. Let's get a little bit of thatch. Let's get a little bit of everything, basically. And we'll get some building going here. Alright, so to get started here, we're going to basically get ourselves the ladder, and what this is going to do is, it's basically going to line up our character, just so everything is nice and straight. Now, the first thing I want to do is put down the refining forges, so we're going to start with this corner here, get this to where exactly I like it, and then we're going to go into orbit camera, and the reason why I do this is just to get everything lined up, essentially. So, we'll kind of put that there. Let's kind of get an idea what we're looking at. So right there should be pretty good. Once I click OK, it's basically going to allow me to rotate it, which I'm going to try to get this kind of as straight as I can. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And there we go. That's our first one. Now we're going to move all the way to the opposite side, and I apologize. We got the tree in the way here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so we're going to move that up. We're going to move it over. That's good enough. And then we're going to straighten it out, and there we go. Perfect. Okay, so now what's going to happen is once we make the smithy, we're going to put that right in the middle here, essentially. But we'll do that here in a minute. And you know what? While we're at it, let's go ahead and split the metal. We'll put metal in both of these so we can get that in the process of cooking. And we have 51 wood. Cool. All right, so we'll get that started. And we'll get that started. Perfect. Okay, now is the bed. So let's go ahead and do that. So again... First thing, ladder to straighten out our character. Bam, bam, pick up. And now we're going to do the same thing with the bed. Now, the reason why I did get rid of the roof is because of this orbit camera mode, basically. So, it just makes things a little bit easier for me to get these all lined up. Let's see, we're going to go about... Let's go about there. Perfect, okay. So bed is down. I want to do storage on this side, so let's go ahead and do that now. So first of all, ladder, center, take it away. Storage box. Now, I'm going to line the storage box up pretty much with where the walls intersect, essentially. That's going to be my middle point, if you will, which I think is just about right there. We can kind of eyeball... Oops. We can kind of eyeball this a little bit. Now, it's not allowing me to snap it because I'm a little too far away from the storage. So we'll go ahead. We'll move a little bit forward here. And right about there should be perfect. Cool. And now the second one, we'll kind of just line it right up with that, right about there. There we go. There's our storage. Pretty much right in the middle, which is great too. So now we're going to put down the table. Okay, so the table's going to have to be here. Now, I'll show this off in a little bit, what I want to do with the table specifically, but if you guys have watched my series and stuff before, I think you know exactly what we're doing with this. So, I'm going to go ahead and put this along the side here, just so we have access to the storage still. And we'll get you lined up just about there. Yeah, that's perfect. There. Cool. All right, so we'll use you in a little bit. For right now, yeah, you're kind of intersecting with the wall and everything, but that's okay. No big deal. What's the last thing? I want to do a little more storage. I want to do a bookcase. Which a part of me might want to put... No, we'll put the bookcase over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Climb up, climb down. And last but not least, the bookcase. Now, I could put the bookcase in a different spot, but to be honest, it is going to jut out a little bit. It is going to jut into the ceiling, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, we're going to go right about there. Should be pretty good with the wall. Okay, cool. Now, you guys should be already done. All right, so now I should be able to make the smithy from this, and if I can't, because we need a little more stone. Okay, no biggie there. All right, so to put the smithy down, I first want to see... Okay, so see how the anvil is going to be on the wall? I kind of want that on the opposite side. So I could rotate the whole thing, or I could just come on this side and basically set it down this way. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to basically put the ladder up just to center my character. We're going to go ahead, get the smithy ready. We're going to go into Orba camera. Might have to make this a little bit closer to me. Just so we can squeeze through here. Yeah, that's going to be the issue right there. Okay. Squeeze it a little bit closer. Yeah, so I can get my character right in the middle there. I think that's pretty much centered. Yeah, right about there. Perfect. So what's nice about this is, one, it gives it a nice clean look, at least in my opinion. Also, I have access to both of these without this getting in the way. I could technically squeeze in here if I want, but long story short, I could basically just come here, and we're good. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to put down a little bit of storage right here. I know we had plenty of storage here, but it's kind of like your little closet, right? Like you always have a little bit of storage in your bedroom and everything. And I know everything's really, really compact and tight right now, but I don't know. It's just like a little, again, it's not really that necessary. It's more just, I don't know, it's a little design thing that I like to do. So let's see what we need for that. Now, for a storage box, I need just a little more wood, but I do want to go out and get a ton of stone at this point, because do we have enough? We have more than enough hide. We just need a lot of stone for the mortar and pestles, which we'll do that here in a bit, because I do want to get myself into metal tools and stuff, and then we can go ahead and get that. You know what? Screw it. Let's get metal tools right now. We can't get a metal hatchet. No, never mind. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get ourselves that little bit of storage. There we go. Just so I can show off how I do this. And then we'll go ahead, we'll make ourselves our metal pick, which will be our first metal tool. And then from there, we'll go ahead, we'll go and gather a little bit more metal so we can make the rest of the metal products. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much right on the money. I really like that. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll drop that one metal in there. We'll drop the wood, and then we'll drop the hide. I think you might need fiber. I could be wrong with that. I'm probably wrong. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I don't like that folder view thing, but there we go. Okay, so you need hide and wood. Okay, so give me that fiber. And there we go. Metal pick coming up. All right, so now for the storage box. With this, I am going to kind of... You know what? I'm going to eyeball this one. I just like when it looks a little bit... it's going to be a little tight, but that's fine. We'll kind of put it like right here, essentially. It is going to be a bit tight. The problem is if I put it on this side, it might just be a little bit too much with that in the way, so I guess we'll throw it right here. It's fine. We'll kind of angle it a little bit. It's kind of our little nightstand, essentially. right about there. Perfect. Cool. Yeah, we'll go with that. Sweet. So, bookshelves specifically for the blueprints and stuff that we get in the series. A little bit of storage, obviously, in total. So that's 90 slots of storage, along with this guy here, which is just going to be little stuff. Maybe a weapon, maybe some clothing, maybe like our shitty clothing we'll throw in there, just in case we die and we have to go get our good stuff. Let's see what else. So we have our smithy, obviously. We also have our first metal tool here, the metal pick. So let's go ahead. We will drop this on down. You know what? We'll hold on to this metal pick. It's our first metal pick of the series. First stone pick, sorry, of the series. I need that hatchet back. I don't have the hatchet yet. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get a little bit more metal. Now, at this point, we could put the roof on. So let's kind of lighten up our character here. Oh, I can't. I thought I made them already. Shit. Damn it. All right, we need a little bit of wood on the way, but that's fine. We'll get a little bit of wood. We'll make ourselves our roof again, and we'll go on a bit of a metal run here, which won't be too crazy. Again, obviously, there's no rich metal sources near where we are right now, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit these, like, metal rocks and stuff over here. So, along the beach, there's two different types of rocks that you're looking for. So, you're looking for these guys if you're in this area. But if you're in the cove, kind of where we started, it's going to be the river rocks. They're like these, it's like these smoother rocks and everything like that you'll notice a significant difference to them, essentially. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go over there. You'll see some smooth spherical rocks and stuff like that. Not jagged or anything, not like these. And that's where you're going to get your metal if you're over there. But yeah, right away, we already have 1 metal, 3 metal. But yeah, we're going to go through and pretty much just hit a few of these. And you still get a decent amount of metal from these, honestly. You know, it's not hitting a metal node or anything like that, but for the start, you don't need anything crazy. So for right now, I definitely want to get myself the hatchet, which I believe is a total of 8 metal that we need. So we're going to need a total of 16 metal rocks. We're also going to need a sickle, would be nice, which, speaking of which, let's have a quick look and see what we've actually unlocked along the way here. So we've unlocked the crossbow. Cool. The sickle, I don't think I have unlocked. Okay, and that takes a total of 18 metal ingot. Oh my god. Okay, so we need 36. So we need 36 metal. Plus we need 14 and 14. So 14 is 28 plus 36. Oh god. I might as well just go out and get. Oh Jesus Christ. Oh, I thought I saw something, and I'm like, no, it would have attacked me by now. Jesus. Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna need a lot of metal actually, because I want to get all the metal tools out of the way essentially. So let's go ahead. Let's go on a bit of a metal run. I'll gather probably at least 100 metal, and we should be looking pretty good there. So if any of you guys are actually confused by river rocks, these are what you're looking for down there. Turns out in this area, there's a few river rocks too. They're right here at the end. But yeah, this is specifically what you're looking for, mainly if you're in the area over in South Zone 1, kind of where we started our series. Alright, so we got a little bit of metal cooking here. Let's go ahead. Let's pull all this out and see what we can actually make here. So, we can make a hatchet. Let's go ahead and make one of those. Let's go ahead and we can either make the sickle or the crossbow. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to make the sickle. And then for the crossbow, we're just going to need a few more pieces here. So let's go ahead and get that done. That shouldn't be too bad. And I think what I'll do is... You know what? Maybe we'll just make the second crossbow. We'll just get everything out of the way here. Now, for the sickle, I'm not actually going to put it in the hotbar here, because it's not like I'm always going to need it. It's not something that I need on a daily basis, so yeah, that's fine. We'll kind of leave it in our inventory, just not in the hotbar specifically. So let's go ahead. Let's get a little bit more metal. We are running out of metal spaces specifically, so I know I'm making you guys dizzy. I apologize. We're going to actually start... I pretty much taken out all the metal over there, so we're going to start working ourselves down here. You can see there's a little metal node right there, and we'll kind of continue this way, and we'll see what we can find. But long story short, we really don't need too much at this point. We need a total of 3 to make the first crossbow, and then we'll need another 7, which is another 14 metal rocks for the second crossbow. Now, it shouldn't be too bad, especially using a metal pick at this point. We'll probably get a metal... We'll probably try to get a little bit more metal, because the pick is already wearing down a little bit. Now, it's, you know, it's only 25%, but, you know, it'll go eventually, so we might as well go ahead and get that all done now. Now, another thing I gotta worry about is you. Yeah, okay. I gotta stay away from you. All right, where is metal? Oh my god, such a satisfying feeling. 200, 300, 400 fiber right away. And we're not even at the good spot. The bamboo area up here, or whatever these things are called. I mean, this to me just looks like bamboo, but these get you... It is freaking bamboo, isn't it? Yes, 100%. That's got to be bamboo. But that gets you a ton of fiber. I'm not going to do anything with it right now because we don't necessarily need it. But, oh my god. You know how long it took to pick like 100, 200 fiber? Well, not really that long, but I mean, it's a lot quicker now, obviously. But let's go ahead and split these. We'll put another 20 metal in you. We'll put another 18 in you. I just went through and basically, I just went ahead and got as many metal nodes as I could. I didn't want to go too far down the beach or anything, but for now, I mean, this will get us everything. So let's go ahead and finish up the roof here. So we're going to need some thatch. We're going to need some wood from you. And I think we're good, right? Let's get a little bit more fiber. Why not? All right, so we need a total of 6 thatch roofs. So 5, 6. I would like to make the bow, honestly. I really do prefer the bow over the crossbow. The crossbow is just so much better. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But we do have a total of 208. Speaking of which, that just made me realize I got to sort this by name just so things aren't all over the place. Let's go ahead and make some mortar and pestles, which we can make a decent amount right now. I'm hoping with this we can make a total of 4? 3. Damn it. All right, well, let's make 3. And then I guess in the meantime, we'll go out and we'll get a little bit more stone. And of course, now we're level 40. Jesus Christ. Now, guys, mind you, I am running on 0.5 XP at this point. Like I mentioned in episode 1 and technically episode 0, which was the settings episode, I did mention that we are on a staggered XP. So how I do it is from essentially the start to level 25, I run at 0.25 XP. From levels 25 to level 50, I run at 0.5. Levels 50 to level 75, I run at 0.75 XP. And then finally, once we hit level 75, we'll be at 1.0. But of course, in this series, I do plan on completing the entire game. It's something that I've never actually done before. So obviously, once our character gets Ascension and everything with all those extra levels, we may bump it further than 1.0. It just depends on, you know, how much further specifically. But we have our mortar and pestles here. How much... Do we still have a decent... Okay, we still have a decent amount of hide. Good, okay. That was my biggest worry, that I was just going to run through all the friggin' hide and everything. But let's go ahead. Let's put all this stuff back, and then we can get the mortar and pestles out here so we can kind of place those guys. Now, this is something that I personally do. Of course, you can just take your mortar and pestles and put them on the ground. Of course, that's a lot easier and everything. I don't know. For this, it just... I don't know. I think I've always kind of used it as a line of... It's just a little more civilized, in my opinion, to have your mortar and pestle sitting on a table and everything. And I don't know, in my opinion, it just looks so much nicer. You know, it's easier to maneuver. It's easier to, like, get a hold of, essentially. But now it's just a matter of getting these lined up. So we're going to go... Yeah, man. Right about there. Right about there. And yeah, right about there. Yeah, that's perfect. Cool. So yeah, the idea is that if I need the mortar and pestle for anything, I can just walk right up. I don't have to do this and kind of... Okay, how do we get to it? You know, that kind of thing. Now I just walk straight over to the table. I got a whole line of them all good to go. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn these guys off. We're going to let that metal cook. And now we can go ahead and make... I'm going to hold on to the sickle. And we're going to go ahead and make 2 crossbows. There we go. Now, the reason why I make 2, this is something that I actually learned a while ago from watching a Flinger Foo series. You don't want your crossbow to break, and then especially if you're taming a creature, then it's like, all right, now what? You know what I mean? So you always make 2. You always make a backup just in case, which is what we're going to do here. So we have the metal. It's no big deal. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to drop these down to the X and Y slots here, which, yeah, you know, we're adding on a little bit of weight. It's 10 weight each one, but it is what it is at the end of the day. No big deal. All right, but we're going to take you out. We're also going to take you out, and we're going to finally put on the roof, which is what we did in the last episode. But of course, like I mentioned, I took it all off just to make the building a little bit easier for us, or the TLCing, rather. A little bit easier for us. And there we go. There's our roof. So we're back to square one, but now we have a fully furnished home. And honestly, I don't know. I really do like this idea and everything. And of course, as we expand and everything, we'll make this place a little bit bigger. We'll start dividing. We'll divide them into separate rooms and stuff like that. But for right now, the open floor concept is totally fine. Now, the good news with getting all of that metal is, look at all the amount of flint that we have, you know? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 200. We're also going to bring out a decent amount of fiber, but we're going to take out 200 flint. We're also going to go over to Tyson here, who's kind of been my little fridge in the meantime. We have a total of 130 narcos. You guys are about to spoil. 4 minutes, 247. Okay, so we're going to split this. We're going to get ourselves as much spoiled meat as possible, so we have a decent amount of cooked meat, so I'm not really worried in that department, but I do want to get some spoiled meat, and I want to get some narcotics going. Now, granted, we're not going to get a lot with only 130 narco berries, but, you know, it's better than nothing at this point. So let's split all this. Let's see kind of what our timer is looking at here. We're looking at 17 seconds. Perfect. Okay. I'm not going to move this spoiled meat into my inventory, because what's going to happen is with that half spoil time, once all of these spoil, they're all going to get this half spoil time. So I'm actually going to do it the other way around, which is when these spoil in the next 2 seconds, they're going to basically be a full bar of spoiled, right? So there we go. 94 of them completely spoiled. They have a total of 37 minutes. Now, with this one, obviously, this is a little bit higher because it's in the Dodo's inventory, but if I did put this in my inventory, it would probably only have, I don't know, out of the 30-something minutes, kind of divide that into 2. I'm going to put this into my inventory because now, all 100, yeah, this one kind of got messed up. I probably should have split it first in order for that to work, but it is what it is. We have one spoil meat that is 18-minute spoil timer. The rest of them, though, are at 37 minutes, which is absolutely perfect. Exactly what we needed. So now that we got the mortar and pestles here, let's go ahead and kind of divide this all up. So we're going to split this 4 times to make it easier. Again, you don't have to do this whole dividing thing. I just like to do it because it seems to make it a little bit quicker. So the idea behind this is if you have all the narcos in one mortar and pestle, right? It's going to take, let's just say 5 seconds to make one, right? But in that 5 seconds, I'm essentially making 4 because this one's going to make one, this one's going to make one, this one's going to make one, this one's going to make one. And it just makes things a little bit quicker, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and we'll do that, and we'll do that. And watch. So we're going to set this one off, which is only 6, of course. And this one's probably going to be, oh no, they're going to be 6 also. And then 6 also. But the idea is that instead of sitting here and waiting for all 24 roughly to be made, which is going to take a little bit longer, they're making all of them at once, simultaneously. And especially if you're in early game and stuff, the XP really shoots up. Now, of course, we're not making that many. But at the same time, I mean, it does end up adding, and it does end up taking a little bit of time. But yeah, you can see right there, we're pretty much done with that one. So we could take this. This one's pretty much done, so we could take with this. This one's pretty much done, so we could take that. And this one's done, so we can pretty much take that. But what we're also going to do is we're going to take that and put that in so we can make another 2. Now, that's going to give us a total of 26 narcotic at this point. And we're going to go on a quick run here. Because with 26 narcotic, we would definitely be able to knock out a creature or 2. Now, it depends on what's in the area, what we want, all that fun stuff. But you know what? That's not too bad. That gives us a lot of options to work with, honestly. 26 trank arrows, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot, but at the same time, you can get a decent creature. You can get a decent 145, a decent 150 with 26 trank arrows. You just have to kind of time it right and everything. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to start making some arrows. So we have a total of 52 right now. As you can see, we have 200 flint, 415 fiber. I want to get my thatch to about 415, around there roughly, so we can make all 200 arrows. We might as well at this point. We have more than enough flint. So let's do that. Again, this shouldn't take too long, especially using a metal pick. We're going to pretty much take down the rainforest over here pretty much. The good news is all this will respawn relatively quickly. So not too bad in that department. And again, that's why I don't like, take down stuff near the base. I like to come a little bit further out because I like to keep this whole, like, vegetation and this growth all around the area. I just think it looks really nice, honestly. So let's see how many we got right now. How many we can make? We can make exactly 200. Perfect. So let's go ahead. Let's get that going. That's going to take a few seconds. No big deal. And then once that's done, once we have a total of 26 made, we're going to go ahead and get these going. So there we go, 26, perfect. So once the 200 arrows are done, we're going to go ahead and make 26 trank arrows, just so we have that pretty much ready to go. But of course, as we're making these arrows, we have some news in the ASA world. Yes, ASA is actually out for PC right now, which is absolutely crazy. It is upsetting that console, we do have to wait a little bit in order to get our hands on it, but it is what it is. No big deal. Hopefully it comes before Extra Life. That's really the thing that I am pushing for. We'll have to see what happens, of course. Extra Life being the first week of November, which is a bit concerning, especially as a content creator, trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do for that event now if ASA is not available, but we'll have to see what happens. But long story short, guys, if you do want to see my trailer reaction and all that, in the right-hand corner right about now will be a link to that video. If you want to check that out, I also go over break down the trailer a little bit, nothing too crazy, but I do talk about, obviously, the aftermath with the delay to consoles and all that kind of stuff. But if you guys want to check that out, if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, right-hand corner right about now, there'll be a link up there. And let me know in that video if that's something you'd like to see. I know traditionally I don't do that stuff on this channel, but if you guys are interested in those reactions and the ARK news, if you will, let me know, and I'll start kind of doing that too. That would be kind of cool. But anyways, all 26 trank arrows are done at this point, so we're going to go ahead and put the stuff away, which I know seems kind of silly, like why did we take all that time to do it, but it's all prep work specifically, honestly. So let's drop all this in here. Now, the way that I like to do my storage, for right now at least, is in the beginning, my smithy is pretty much my material pieces, if you will, right? So obviously you saw in there, I put my charcoal, my fiber, my flint, my hide, my metal, stone, thatch, wood, all the materials, the basic stuff. Now, for this, obviously we'll use this as, we'll keep old resources in here and stuff that we'll eventually put in here, like the cloth and everything when we upgrade to better materials. We also have, why did I just fill up my water? Oh, it's raining, but why would that fill up in the house? I don't know, that's kind of weird. I don't know if you guys saw that. But anyways, obviously, the bookshelf and everything, that's going to be just for storage. The large storage boxes, I will organize them based on, one will be probably armor, saddles, all that kind of stuff. The other one will just be kind of a miscellaneous, and then obviously these guys will use them when we use them and everything. But I don't know, I kind of like this little base. You know, I like this little setup. Nothing too crazy here. But next thing I do want to do is, I did mention it, I do want to go ahead and make the raft. But there is one other thing that I do want to do first. And, of course, guys, I do apologize that we are doing a little bit of repeating from the previous series. But, of course, everybody has the way that they always start out. You know what I mean? It seems like an ARK, for the first couple of, not necessarily episodes, but when you're playing ARK, for the first few days on the island and stuff, you always have your same things. You always do the same exact setup in order to get your playthrough started, right? And mine is getting the canoe. I love the canoe. I really do. I love the canoe. I know you guys are going to be like, that son of a bitch is getting that fucking canoe again. Which, you guys obviously know what that means. That means we do have to head over to Genesis 2. I know you guys love this part of the episode, but I'm going to make my way over there at this point. It is starting to turn night and everything like that, but I should be fine on my own. We have 130 movement speed, so it shouldn't take too long to get there. On top of that, too, you know what I'm going to do? Screw it. I'm just going to drop everything at this point. I'm also going to make a bed over there, though. I'm going to go ahead and make a, not a bed, a, whatchamacallit, sleeping bag. There we go. Gonna make one of those. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop everything entirely because I don't want to lose anything. Even food. We're not taking anything over there with us. Yeah, we'll just throw everything in here for right now. But we do have the sleeping bag. We have a little bit of... Oops. I am gonna need food. And we'll actually throw that on Tyson over here. But I'm going to make the run pretty much over to the obelisk. We'll head over to Genesis 2, and the nice thing is, when we get over to Genesis 2, it'll be a little bit nicer, of course. And then, of course, our face is going to be all fucked up because of the mask and the mask, oh my god, the tech suit over there and everything. But it is what it is, no big deal. So let me start making the run here. We shouldn't really have to deal with too much, honestly. Again, with 130 movement speed, we should be pretty good. Plus, it's not technically nighttime yet. It's getting really friggin' close, honestly. But, it's not nighttime yet, so we're not going to have to deal with true dawns or anything like that. Usually this area doesn't have true dawns or anything, so we should be all pretty much good to go there. But let me make the trip over to Genesis 2, and of course I will meet you guys over there. Okay, so now that HLNA has stopped talking, guys, welcome to Genesis 2, and I know this always seems like I said, it's always something that you do at the start of the series and everything, because, well, you get access to freaking every single engram. We're going to have a little fun with this, so of course, we're going to get the canoe right away. Of course, that's one thing that I always want to get. Another thing that we're going to get, which we might not use a lot right now, but I do just want to get my hands on at least the engram and everything, is this, the fish basket. Of course, we do need fungal wood, which means we will have to kind of go back and forth here, but any big fish that we find, we need to get ASAP, just to get ourselves ready for Shadow Maiden taming. And I know that seems absolutely crazy. Guys, I'm not saying in the next 5-10 episodes we're getting ourselves a Shadow Maiden. We're looking way down the line for that. But as you guys know, the big fish and everything are impossible to find, so it's good to kind of get yourself started with that. And eventually, once we get to that point, we'll have a lot of big fish ready to go for a potential Shadow Maiden tame. God knows how long in the future, but, you know, it'll happen eventually. But anyways, looking through the rest of the engrams here, obviously the biggest one was the canoe. We do have access to, like, the ammo box and stuff like that, which is really nice and everything, but at the same time, it's not stuff that we need 100% right now. Looking through, we're up to level 40. Okay. So we don't have access to this yet. This is what we're really looking for, is the harpoon launcher at 43. Okay, I was kind of hoping, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of hoping this was already ready to be unlocked, just so I can get my hands on this. We did get a level, obviously, from the HLNA thing, so we'll go ahead and we'll pop that in. That'll put us at 250 weight. We're looking at level 41, which I think gives us access to the Canoe saddle now, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look, though. No, it's the Parasaur saddle. Okay. But yeah, looking through, not too much more to unlock, but of course the biggest thing is the canoe. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm just like looking through here just to see if there's anything else. I don't think there is specifically. No, I mean, the Maywing saddle will be fine, but, you know, we're not going to go for a Maywing just yet. I will want to get one relatively soon, but not for this one. And yeah, nah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Worst case, I could always make another trip over here and pick some stuff up. But anyways, guys, we have 455 seconds. Now, of course, we could do one of the things, which is I could technically start doing the missions and everything like that for the canoe. And the reason why I might do that is just so we can get to the point of the harpoon launcher, just so we can have it unlocked so I don't have to make a trip back and forth here. Usually what I was doing is during this 455 seconds or whatever that we have left, I would go ahead and actually start getting loot drops and stuff specifically, but I wonder if we can pull that off. It's not like we need that much. What is it, 43 did I say, or 45? If it's 43, it could happen. Yeah, you know what? It's 43. It definitely could happen. I'm going to start doing the missions, guys. I'm not going to bring you into the missions. We've done this multiple times. But long story short, I want to get all the skins for the canoe. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll bring you back at the end of each mission just so you guys can see exactly what we get for each one. Now, I do want to mention that obviously before I left the island, I don't know if I'm going to put that clip in or not. I did do a save world. I do that every time leaving a map and everything. Doesn't matter if it's as stable as the island or anything like that. Always drop a save world, guys. Honestly, it can save you. It can save you. It can save your creatures. It can save your items. Do a save world every time. It doesn't always work, but it's better than having zero chance of it working. On Genesis 2, with the missions, I always drop a save world before doing the mission, and then I'll drop it after the mission. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, but like I said, I'll bring you guys back as each mission is done. So hopefully we can get some pretty good loot from this, and hopefully we can get to level 43, but we'll have to see what happens. But guys, let me go ahead, let me drop the save world. By the way, if you guys don't know how to do that, on console, it's left bumper, right bumper, X and Y. That's going to bring up this admin command, and as you guys can see, it's already in there from the island. But long story short, if you didn't have it, you would go ahead and type it in, and we have a save world admin command. I always wait a few seconds before going back into the game. That's just a preference thing. I don't know if it actually works or not, but we're going to press resume, and I'm going to start the mission. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. So guys, with that being said, we pretty much have all of the canoe racing missions done. So just to go over what I was actually able to get done. So for the downriver run, I can get Gamma and Beta done. I cannot seem to get Alpha done. Alpha, you need to do this in a total of 5 minutes. I get really close, 5:15, 5:20, but I just can't get under 5 minutes. So this one's going to be a bit of a struggle. We'll deal with that in the future. Moving down to Team Downriver Run, I did get all 3 of these done for the Canoe Skins, which I really do like these skins. So I'm happy that I was able to get all those done, and we did actually get ourselves another level, and we are currently looking at level 47. Oh my god, I did not expect to get that many levels and stuff from this. I'm not going to be using the metal irrigation pipes. I don't need 28 of them, so we can chuck that. I will hold on to the Capra saddles, and we will go over in a second kind of what we ended up getting from these drops, or from these missions rather. But let's drop all the way down to level 47 and see what we have unlocked here. So level 47, nothing too crazy. Now, where are cryopods? Cryopods are level 51, so we're getting really close. We're just not there yet. Okay, so moving through here, level 47, Ravager saddle, Megalodon saddle, cool. Carno saddle, cool. Dire Bear saddle, Mantis saddle, pliers. Of course, the harpoon launcher we're going to get. The net projectile we're going to get too. Absolutely awesome there. Moving on, though, there's nothing really else that we've actually unlocked that I really need right at this moment. Now, of course, we obviously now have the long neck because of getting the harpoon launcher and everything, but we may start getting into simple rifle ammo and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure yet, but let's go over the loot and what we got. And speaking of which, let's say hello to Helena there, HLNA rather. Let's move the ARK. Let's move this stuff into the ARK data and go over everything. So obviously we got the 3 skins, being the modern canoe skin, the tech skin, and we got ourselves the Viking canoe skin, which personally I love the Viking skin, but we'll show those off in a bit. The reason why I do this, first of all, the reason why I do this, because I know I get people asking, the reason why I do these missions specifically is, 1, because I like the canoe, 2, I like the skins, and 3, it kind of gives me an idea of what we're going to end up taming. We're at the beginning of a series. We can pretty much go after anything at this point, let's be honest. So getting these saddles and getting these different things kind of give me an idea. It gives me a direction. Now, that being said, I always seem to go for an Equus, regardless of how this goes. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I wasn't genuinely going to go for an Equus in the series, at least at this point. And then we did the Alpha Team Racing mission, and of course, Journeyman Equus saddle. So, of course, we will be getting an Equus relatively soon, of course. So you guys know, I love the horses. I love Equises in this game. Now that we got a saddle, it's gonna happen. I do apologize for the repetitiveness of the previous series and many series before that, but it's gonna happen at some point, guys. Just be prepared for it. Looking at the other stuff, we ended up getting some pretty good stuff, too. So, primitive desert cloth shirt, pretty cool. I like the desert cloth. Again, not too crazy armor-wise, but it's better than nothing. The Equus saddle, of course. 2 Capro saddles, of course. We ended up getting a blueprint and a regular one. A ramshackle metal pick, which is pretty cool because we obviously, in the beginning of this episode, we ended up making a metal pick. But the primitive metal pick can kind of be a backup, and we can use this. And then, of course, we got ourselves 3 costumes. Now, I am going to take a second to quickly fly around here. I don't want to go too crazy with loot. I know. Me saying I don't want to go too crazy with loot, but I want to take a quick look around, and the reason is I want to see what color the loot drops are, and that'll determine what the space biome is specifically. And if we grab a drop or 2 along the way, it's not going to be that big of a deal, of course. But while we're over here, there is one more thing that I do want to make. Let's go into this here. I want to make a spyglass, or at least I want to get the crystal needed for the spyglass. Now, I believe we need to head in this direction. Okay, so they're green drops. Okay. Let's take a look at those drops first, then we'll get the crystal. Because maybe in one of these drops we'll have crystal or maybe a spyglass or something. I don't want to go too heavy with the loot drops over here or anything yet, because you can get some very, very overpowered stuff, especially at the beginning of the game. I don't necessarily want to go that route. Of course, you guys know I love my loot. I love doing these loot runs and stuff, but I don't want to make it too crazy. Hopefully we get something relatively good for early game. It would kind of help out the process, if you will. I don't want, like... You know what? I'm going to say what I don't want, and I'm going to get it. So let's see. Ravager saddle. Okay, we got some meat. I'm going to keep 10 of the meat. I'm going to drop the rest of it. But the Ravager saddle, pretty cool. Okay, they're not overpowered or anything. We are literally at the level of a Ravager saddle, so it's not too excessive there or anything either. I like that. I actually really like that. Okay. All right, let's see what this one is, though. Okay, apprentice and a Ravager saddle. Okay, we'll get rid of this other stuff. But cool, we have 2 Ravager saddles. Okay, so I think ARK is telling me we got to get a Ravager relatively soon, too. So I think what we're going to do is that kind of helps me out. Well, it doesn't really help me out, actually. I don't know. We'll have to see. I know where I'm going for my Ravager, let's put it that way. I don't know when we're going to get the Ravager, but we're going to get it relatively soon, because they're not crazy overpowered, let's be honest. By themselves, they're not that... Not that they're not that good. They are good. But by themselves, they're relatively tame. They're not too bad, right? It's when you get a group of them, and then once you get that pack bonus, once you get imprint, once you get all that on, they can be really good, you know what I mean? So... that's something we'll definitely be looking towards, and especially having the saddle, too, at this point. Let's go ahead. Let's break you. 23 crystal. Perfect. That's more than enough. We'll keep the apprentice cloth hat, too. I know that's kind of funny, but it's better than what we got, so let's take a look at this drop, and then we'll get the heck out of here. Unless there is another drop closer to the obelisk, or closer to our point in which we're going to leave, of course, you know, and twist my arm, you know. You guys know how I am. But we'll have a quick look here and see. So... Ravagers definitely on the table. Now, Ravagers are going to be kind of interesting because we do need mutton for them. So that's going to be... No, none of this stuff. We'll throw that all out. Ravagers will definitely be interesting. Now, are they two... They're 2 normal saddles. Okay, so we have a 74 Mastercraft and we have a 36 Ramshackle. So if we could theoretically get a male and a female, that might not be too bad. You know what I mean? Now, there's a couple maps that do have Ravagers on it. Obviously, the big one, Aberration. We also have this map, I believe, has Ravagers, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, actually. It's been a bit since I've been over to the Rockwell side, so they might not actually have Ravagers on this one. I feel like they're not on Genesis 1. But I feel like they are on here. I feel like they're on Genesis 2. And then they're obviously also on Fjordur too. So Fjordur may be probably the spot that I'm thinking about heading to get our Ravagers. There is that Aberration Cave that they seem to always be in. And it's a relatively compact area. So it might not be too bad to kind of work with them there, to be honest. Plus, obviously, Fjordur has Equises. So we might kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. We'll have to see what happens, of course, because... that's a bit of traveling to do, and being on foot, it may not work out too well in our favor, so maybe we'll have to, I mean, we're already at what? We're already past level 37. Maybe our first team should be a flyer? I know that seems a little silly, but it might just make things a little bit easier. I don't know. But anyways, let's get this drop. Okay. Ravager saddle. Ramshackle riot gauntlets. A shield. Yeah, screw it. We'll take the shield. And of course, an Ascendant Yudi saddle. I don't give a shit. We're taking that. That is great. I know that's a little overpowered, but it's not like we're going for a Yudi right now. That's totally fine. Oh, son of a bitch. There is another one. I'm going to be honest, and I know some of you guys might not be too thrilled with this. When drops do end up like this, when they end up inside of the mesh and everything... I am going to go into ghost mode. I'm going to get that. I don't think that's my fault that it's in the mesh and everything. It would be, I would be going for it if I had access to it, but obviously I don't. So hopefully you guys are cool with it. I'm going to go in the mesh. I'm going to get this thing, and we'll see what we get. Shit. Of course, it's got to be really good stuff too, isn't it? Ah, damn it. All right. Let's try to get myself in a better spot here so I can grab all this without moving too much. Son of a bitch. Of course it's going to be good stuff. All right. No. Let's... Come on. Go back. Thank you. Nope. Too much. Oh, I hate using this tech suit. Maybe eventually we'll get back. There we go. We'll just take everything and we'll do it on the outside. Let's go. All right, there we go. So we're back on the outside here. Of course, we ended up getting some really good stuff from that. An Ascendant Equus saddle, an Apprentice Equus saddle, another Capro saddle, another Ravager saddle. So, yeah, I mean, really good riot boots, 560 armor riot boots. Oh, my God. And then, of course, a Journeyman cloth hat. So, of course, it's going to be really interesting and everything. Guys, at this point, I know I had a lot more planned for this episode. I kind of expected to head back to the island, make ourselves the canoe, make ourselves the raft, all that stuff. I think we're going to have to do that in the next episode because right now I'm kind of trying to figure out where to go from here. Obviously, you know, ARK is telling us a few things. It's telling us to go get an Equus and it's telling us to go get a Ravager. So I think we're going to do that, whether we go for the Ravager first or the Equus, I'm not entirely sure. I will have to take a trip back over to the island to get myself the Trank arrows and all that stuff, but I'll meet you guys back on the island in the next one. Maybe we'll start out by making all that stuff just to get that out of the way to begin with. But I am going to wrap up the episode here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it wasn't too long, but of course we'll have to see what happens during editing. But that is going to wrap up this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, take a second. Make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. On top of that, if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, you want to see more ARK Survival Evolved content and ARK Survival Ascended, of course, when it comes out for us here on console, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. But that's going to wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one.